I tell you that other one time was the time. You got it already.
Hello, welcome to Room B. I'm your host, Rumbii. I just woke up from my first 8-hour continuous sleep of the week. I spent the most part of this week sleep deprived, and I want to get into that. So, it was my birthday a few days ago. I turned 31 and I've had a lot of fun. There has been so many things planned around my birthday, so many activities. And prior to this week, I don't think I mentally prepared for the week. And I was just kind of swept up in the hype and the excitement of the birthday. If you follow me on podcasting platforms, you will by now know that I didn't post this episode on Thursday, the day that it usually comes out, because I tried to write, record, and edit a podcast in one day. And I tried to do it while sleep deprived. I underestimated just how busy the week was going to be. So, what's been happening? What have I done for my birthday? Let me walk you through the last few days and my slow but inevitable demise that culminated with me completely crashing out. So, my birthday was March 10th. And on the 9th, we actually spent some time with friends and we went to see Dune Part 2 in IMAX, of course, the only way that film should be watched. That's all I'm going to say about it. And on the Sunday, which was my actual birthday, my husband had created a whole list of things that we can do, but everything was optional. He made sure that with each activity, I had the choice whether I want to do one thing or another. I really appreciated that everything he planned was optional, which leads me to the first thing actually. He had booked for us to go and do a dance class, and I definitely would have loved to do it. I didn't do it in the end, but that's because I just wasn't appropriately dressed. And it was the first activity of the day. I didn't want to get sweaty and then stink for the rest of the day. And the way I'd done my hair and my makeup, it just wasn't working well with the dance class as the first activity, you know what I mean? So I opted out of that one, which I'm actually looking forward to doing again because this is a free class that happens monthly. So I'd really wanna go back and give it a shot and be appropriately dressed for a dance class. I wasn't even wearing a sports bra, and listen, the way these babies are set up, you can't just do any physical activity without actually having something strapping them down. So I opted out of that one, and the alternative was for me to go to an art gallery. We got to see some really cool art, got to see a exhibition by Norman Takeuchi, who is a Canadian Japanese artist. His exhibition is called Shapes in Between. That definitely was an exciting part of my birthday. Dean and I both had our portrait done, which I thought was really cute, like a nice little memento from my birthday. We went to a board game place. We love this place. It's called Level One. We're pretty much there every month. So I really enjoyed that. We incorporated a quick game during the day. And we ended the day with just going for tacos. They're my favorite, tacos and tequila. You can't go wrong with that. And it was such a nice birthday. I really, really enjoyed the fact that it was constantly moving. We weren't staying in one place for too long. And it made for an exciting day. And then a couple of days after my birthday, my mother in law threw me a birthday dinner. She cooked, which was just so fantastic. I always love her cooking. She always makes amazing food and also spending time with family. It was just so fun. This is when my sleep deprivation basically began because the day after my family dinner, I am stressed out because it's Wednesday. And usually, Wednesday is the day that I finalize my podcast, finalize the edit, listen to it, hear if it's how I want it to sound. And I hadn't done anything yet. I had no script written. I had not recorded anything. I had not even started editing. I didn't even have a file open to say I've started the process of making an episode. And my episodes go live on Thursday. So naturally, I am freaking out, which I don't know why I was freaking out. At the end of the day, this is a routine that I created for myself. Nobody's going to punish me, but it was also like I promised myself to go all in, to do as well as I can at this. And so I definitely was being too much of an overachiever, and throw some sleep deprivation into that. That's a recipe for disaster. I spent like a couple hours writing the script, spent another couple hours recording, and then went on to spend like 8 hours editing nonstop. And I was just sat on my computer, just working through it. And when I snapped out of it, it was 5 a.m. Thursday morning. And I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what I was doing. I was starting to have hallucinations. It was a trip. It was a trip. And then I basically had a panic attack because I was like, it's 5 a.m. on a Thursday. My podcast usually goes live at 1 p.m. I don't have anything. I've edited everything down to 5 minutes. And it was 5 minutes of a jumbled mess. Like, okay, imagine an hour of footage and then you break it down to 5 minutes, and it was just so disorganized. It made no sense. I listened to that 5 minute segment like 10 times. And each time I'd listen to it, I'm like, I couldn't follow what I was talking about. I wasn't being coherent. I was talking about one thing, then jumping on to the next. And I feel like that's why I went into a panic attack, because it made me realize that I wasn't okay. Which, in a way, I guess it's a good thing, the fact that I'm filming myself, recording myself, watching myself a lot of times. I'm now starting to see the signs that I usually wouldn't see in the past because I wasn't recording myself. So I didn't have the evidence, right? So it was very shocking to see that. And another reason why I went into the panic is that I had a concert to go to. At this point, I need to stay up until I am obliteratedly drunk with sleep. The parameters for me to have a restful sleep are so specific that I have to sometimes trick my body into getting a good amount of sleep. And so that's why I stayed up, so that when it came to nighttime, I sleep soundly through the night without messing up my sleep schedule. Because if I'd gone to sleep at 6 a.m., I would have been up, who knows, at midday, at 1 p.m. And then today I would have been struggling. But it's currently 8 a.m. I'm already up. So I think I did good. So this concert we went to, it was actually my husband's choice to go to this concert because it's one of his favorite artists. His name is Aysanabee. He is a indigenous Oji-Cree singer, and he was actually opening for Allison Russell, who is like an Americana slash American roots singer, and I'd never heard of her. That was my first time ever listening to her music. It was a really, really nice experience. I have to say, best concert to go to when you're sleep deprived. I'm not kidding you, because it was so soulful, so mellow, so zen, so much love. There was so much love in that room. It actually gave me a second wind. It helped me stay up until late enough for me to go to sleep at a good time. And so I want to tell you about what happened post show. We were actually supposed to only watch Aysanabee. And because I was so tired, Dean was like, once his set is done, we can go home and you can go and have an early bedtime. But I was like, let's just see how it goes. We've never seen Allison Russell. We've never heard her music. Let's just check it out. We've got a ticket. We're here. Let's stick around and see what it's all about. And I'm so, so glad that we did because of the experience we end up having afterwards. So after the show, we go and buy a t-shirt for Dean. And we also bought Ayasanabe's record. His current record is called Watin, which is named after his grandfather. And the artwork is also his grandfather. So we're standing there, just like looking at this beautiful artwork, right? We just bought it. We stood to the side of like the merch station. So we're both like, he's to my left. We're both like really close, like looking really at the fine details of this artwork. And I just hear right here in my ear, I can sign it if you'd like. It was Aysanabee himself. Like, I lost my mind. And like, Dean was also just like, what? Because, like, I mean, this is his favorite Indigenous artist. So it was a really, really fun experience. We got to chat with him. He was so, so kind and he was really, really happy. Like Dean told him, he was like, we came to see you. Like, we're here just for you. And he was like so happy to hear that. Yeah, it was a great experience. We got him to sign the records that we bought. So that's also just like very special. And I'm honestly really, really glad that I went, despite feeling worried about the fact that I was sleep deprived. I also want to add that Allison Russell, my oh my, what a powerhouse. I was pleasantly, pleasantly surprised. I'm a lover of all types of music. So being introduced to something new was just so exciting. And not only that, to be introduced to someone like her who's just so powerful, her story so powerful, and she's so loving. She was so kind. She constantly spoke about love and needing to share that with the world. And you can definitely feel it in the room. And she also just recently won her first Grammy. Like, I can't believe, like, literally 3 weeks ago, she won a Grammy for Best American Roots Performance for her song Eve Was Black. And honestly, it's, first of all, I'm surprised that it was this far into her career that she won a Grammy. But I also just feel so honored to have had the experience to go to see someone who just won a Grammy. Like, it's just, she was just so amazing. And I've definitely been converted into a fan. She has incredible vocals. Her voice is just, oh, I could listen to her talk. I could listen to her sing. I could listen to her laugh. She just has such a gorgeous, gorgeous voice. She's a beautiful, beautiful soul. She's had a very tumultuous life, but she's now on the other side of it and she's able to communicate that through her music. She has a commanding voice. She's just so joyous. Honestly, I recommend you check her out. She actually has a Tiny Desk concert on NPR. I'd suggest you listen to that first because there's just something about listening to her raw vocals, you know? On a record, yes, it can be produced. It can still be raw, but like, you know, records sound different to like when you listen to it live, you know? And wow. Again, best concert to go to when you're sleep deprived because it was just so soothing and it made me feel taken care of, especially having been in such a vulnerable state. So I've still got 2 more birthday things. Like, oh my gosh, you know, in hindsight, I should have known. And I think that's partly my fault. I should have known that if you're going to have a busy week, you need to make sure that you're resting between those busy days, busy moments. And I shall be carrying that information with me in the future. And I think also when it comes to content creation, I think what I've learned this week is also if you're going to have a busy week, just make sure that prior to that, you have a backlog of stuff so that you're not having to have a busy week and also create. So I still have a couple more things to do for my birthday. Tonight, I'm having dinner with friends, which I'm really excited about because I have a bunch of friends who I have not seen. It being the winter, I'm just not an outgoing person. I don't see a lot of my friends in the winter. We go like months without seeing each other. And this is the first time that I'm going to be seeing a lot of them. So I'm really, really excited to be around them, to just have fun. And again, to Dean, thank you for planning a great week. I didn't prepare for it appropriately. And now I know. Now I've learned. So I've got that dinner tonight. And then my mother-in-law also gifted us this candlelight concert. It's basically exactly like the name says. It's a concert under candlelight. There's like hundreds, probably thousands of candles in the theater. And they do, I think they're like classical renditions of like artists that they cover. And we chose to go to the Adele concert, and that will be in a couple weeks. So I'm excited to do that too. So that's been my week. I hope that you stay awesome, be kind, and spread positivity.
Rumbee's podcast. Rumbee's podcast. Yeah. Rumbee's podcast. What? Rumbee's podcast. Hey. Rumbee's podcast. This is Rumbee's podcast. What? Rumbee's podcast. Yeah. Rumbee's podcast. Oh yeah.
I'm telling you that other one time was the time. You got it already.